And welcome back to day 12 of War of the Spark spoilers. We're down to the final wire here, folks. We only got a handful of cards left, maybe about 30 or so. Maybe 30 to 40. But Soul Diviner actually came out last night. One black, one blue for a 2/3 zombie wizard that when you tap it, remove a counter from an artifact, creature, land, or planeswalker you control, and draw a card. There's no downside to the card. It's just, it's fine. I don't know how often you'll be able to get the effect off. Or really, do you want to remove a counter from a card? That's the real question. Because generally speaking, on a Planeswalker, that's loyalty you can use. That's for their abilities. On, like, Explosive Zone, which actually got officially spoiled today. I shouldn't have gone over it yesterday, but got officially spoiled today. That's counters you can use to blow something up, but in that card's case, it could benefit you. In Creature's case, you're making them bigger, so I'm not certain why you'd want to remove counters that often. Finale of Revelation. I'm not going to go over the other three because they haven't been officially spoiled, and they're clearly going to be major story points in the story. But 2 blue, X for Sorcery Mythic. That seems to be the motif of the finales. They're all single color X or double color X. 2 colors. You get what I mean. Draw X cards if X is 10 or more. Instead, shuffle your graveyard into your library. Then draw X cards. Untap up to 5 lands. And you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Even just by the draw X standard, it's a really good card if you're behind. If this is like the only card you have in your hand, you only have, like, say, 6 mana on the field, you'll still get 4 cards out of this, absolutely, which is worth it. But, I mean, if you can get to that 10, try to get to the 10, because it's going to give you a lot more value out of that, honestly. But you're going to, very rarely you're going to hard cast that. And when I say hard, I mean just straight land you have. You're going to have Mana Dorks out, Mana Ramp out, and you're going to want to try to make use of that. Casualties of War. Let's say Calamities. Casualties of War is 2 green, 2 red, 2 green, 2 black, 2 of any color. For sorcery, rare. Choose 1 or more. Destroy target artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. The fact that you could theoretically destroy everything, one of everything on the field, is quite impressive. Now, here's the catch on that. You're probably going to destroy at minimum 2 things. Land is always going to be a given, and a creature is almost always going to be a given. After that, it becomes kind of, will they have an artifact, enchantment, or a planeswalker? In this format coming up, planeswalker is pretty likely. So we'll assume that you can at least get a planeswalker, a land, and a creature. Which makes this, for even at 6 mana, pretty worth it. But sidetrack, what if your opponent's board is empty? You could play 6 mana to destroy a land, but is that really worth it? And what if they have too many creatures on the field to really for it to really matter? You can destroy their toughest creature, but, you know, it's good. It is very good, but I don't know if it's quite as good as it appears to be. That's my. I think only because the 6 mana double colored is a steep cost. You have to be in green black. You do. It's very hard to splash something like this. Oath of Kaya, who if you know anything about the at least cast of the next part of the War of the Spark novelization. She did survive. She is going to be one of the survivors of War of the Spark. They have an oath card for her, so that's not really me spoiling it. And we do have an idea of other people surviving it as well. Who knows whether or not they get oaths as well? I don't think so. I can think of one who might, but I won't spoil it if you haven't heard the spoilers for it yet, or haven't looked up the general synopsis of who's going to be there. But Oath of Kaya is 1 black, 1 white, 1 of any color for a legendary enchantment rare. When it enters the battlefield, you deal 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. So essentially, you can treat it as a burn spell. Whenever your opponent attacks a planeswalker you control, with 1 or more creatures, it deals 2 damage to a player and you gain 2 life. So essentially, for them to really take out your planeswalkers, they are going to have to pay a cost. They're gonna have to pay something in order to get that through. And look, they're already going to be down 3 life, assuming they don't have life gain. But at the same time, what's the best way to put it? At the same time, it gives your planeswalkers a certain level of just wall. Like, can they afford to take 2 damage to the face every time they want to get rid of one of your planeswalkers while this is on the field. Now, otherwise, if you don't have planeswalkers on the field, this is going to be kind of just pointless to be on the field at that point. It's not going to matter. It's a good card, absolutely, in a planeswalker deck, which would be the real key spot to have it in. It would definitely serve its purpose, absolutely. Bioessence Hydra. Hydras are actually, I mean, I like dragons fine, sphinxes are okay, angels are cool, and demons are whatever. Hydras are really my favorite of the iconic creature trope within the colors. And then we got a Cynic Hydra, my favorite color combination in Guild. Bioessence Hydra is a 4/4 trample, a Hydra mutant for 1 blue, 1 green, 3 of any color. So right at the bat, it's a 4/4 trample for 5. That's usable even in 2 colors. When it enters the battlefield, it gets a +1 counter on it for each loyalty counter on a on planeswalkers you control. Let me make that very clear. Not on a planeswalker you control, on planeswalkers you control. Now, realistically, you might only have 1, maybe 2 out. But I've already seen people say Land War Elves, turn 2, Kiora, and then turn 3 this into a... Well, actually, it'd be a freaking 11/11, wouldn't it? I mean, think about that real quick. It would be an 11/11. I saw someone say a 10/10. No, do your math right. Kiora in this format has 7 loyalty. So that means it would be a 7 set. It'd be an 11/11 trample on the turn it comes out on turn 3. 3! There's just so much wrong in that, and yet so much. Well, I know why I say 10, because you're supposed to tap them on, pay your ability to tap them on. So a 10/10 still on turn 3. There's so much wrong with that, and it gets better. Because whenever one of our loyalty counters are put on a planeswalker you control, you put a +1 counter on this card. So for the planeswalkers that have plus abilities, that becomes a thing. And let's also not forget proliferate's a thing. So if you proliferate while this is on the field with at least a planeswalker, that means you proliferate the counter on that, you proliferate the counter on the planeswalker, then you proliferate the counter that would, again, putting another +1 counter on there because it already got a... This, now, here's the real thing about it. Like I said, as a 4/4, 4/5, even in 2 colors of trample, it's usable. It's fine. But this is very specifically a planeswalker card. This needs to be in a planeswalker heavy deck, or at least a deck with a few... more than like 2 planeswalkers. It needs at least 3 planeswalkers to make it any level of viable. Otherwise, you just kind of got a little bit of a beat stick. And there's bigger beat sticks in this set. So, it's great, but only in the right deck. But in that deck it goes in, this thing is this is a game finisher, bar none. Bar none, it's a game finisher. Last but not least, we have Storm the Citadel, the last of our story spotlights for the day. 1 green, 4 of any color, for a sorcery, uncommon. Until the end of turn, each creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. And then Johnny's flavor text quotes, "If we die, we die, but we cannot let him win." So, I mean, honestly, it's more about the flavor text for me than the cards. So the card's okay. You need a solid amount of creatures to make this, again, any sort of decent, because if you only have 1 creature on the field, yeah, it'll give +2/+2, and when it deals damage to either a planeswalker or a player, it'll kill an artifact or enchantment, but that's really not all that impressive when you break it down. And 1 creature, probably going to be blocked, or whatever it's whatever is going to be in its way. Maybe it kills a planeswalker, but then you spent 5 mana to do that, and then, yeah... It's best used in an overrun fashion with a group of small creatures, or just a group of creatures in general. A group. Hence, Storm the Citadel. You're storming it. Ah! So, yeah. That's all for the actual official spoilers today. There probably will be an extra card to leak throughout the remainder of the day, like yesterday. But anyway, that's the end of the spoilers for today. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.